All right, let's move over to John Ryan. John Ryan, what's your favorite look on this NCAA board?
It would have to be starting with the Sooners, I think. They did something last week that isn't seen very often in college football land, and they were ranked number 3. They were favored by 28. I guess some places had them at 29, and somehow they managed their way to lose to Kansas State, 38-35, if I remember correctly. So they also dropped quite a bit in the standings, being number 3 and going all the way down to number 18. But now, as we were talking in the NFL, Jimmy, this is what I call irrational betting behavior by the public on the Sooners. So it's easy to say that they played a horrible game last week. I'm trying not to use the normal words I use in public here, but the public is thinking that Oklahoma is not going to lose 2 games in a row. They're not going to lose to Iowa State. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to be mad, and they're just going to throttle the Cyclones. Well, unfortunately, I had at the time that I last looked at it, 78% of the betting tickets are on the Sooners. And anything above 70% is a concern. The money is actually on the Cyclones. And the bigger bets. And there's been some, 10, 20, 25 grand bets placed on them. So using common sense, you would agree with that logic that Oklahoma is going to go in there and just tear the place up. But the math here and the models kind of say a different story. The Cyclones, we're going to use that 28-point pivot point again, just like we did in this previous game. So the Cyclones are 17-3 straight up, 14-4 with 2 pushes for 78% when they have scored 28 or more points in games played over the last 3 seasons. And the machine learning tools that I have clearly have them scoring more than 28. And this will be a good old-fashioned shootout type of game, in my opinion. And the higher the score goes, the more chance that Iowa State will pull off the upset. So it's rare to say. I know it's probably a pretty gutsy call to say outright win, but I wouldn't be afraid to play this as a combination bet using the line and the money line to try to get the maximum profit.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Iowa State, the public side, Oklahoma, and yet, wow.
I'm the same way. I feel the same exact way. Iowa State's covered against them last 4 years. I know Oklahoma's in drop 2 in a row since Stoops' first year in '99. I think the values here, I just wish if Oklahoma didn't lose last week to Kansas State, I think this line's, 13. Sure. It's a lot. That's where the 7 to me is a little I haven't pulled the trigger on, but I'm thinking a lot about it. I would go Iowa State here. It's just that it's dropped so much because of the recency of Oklahoma's loss last week. So that was because I think if they don't lose and they win pretty handily against K-State, this is 13. I'm guessing maybe right around there. So that I just don't see. But I like that play. I mean, I'm looking at it real hard here. So I agree.